All right, let's get right into it, man. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back, man. Translucent origin. We're going to talk about a subject that is pretty close to home with me, man, as a 49ers fan. Roger Goodell admits the NFL was wrong in regards to the player protest. So, it's 2020. America's on fire. Buildings and corporations and industries are being burned to the ground because of the fury that many Americans, especially African Americans, are feeling right now over the death and murder of George Floyd. So it took 9 days for justice to finally happen and the officers to be arrested. And it took Roger Goodell to blacklist Colin Kaepernick, fire him, fine other players, take away sponsorships, pretty much make hell for anyone that followed after Colin Kaepernick and his example. Plus, it took the additional 9 days. Now we're at 10 days for him to actually say, you know what? Damn, we were wrong. It almost reminds me of the episode of South Park, man, with BP. And the South Park creators got on there and they were like, I'm sorry. And they said probably I'm sorry, man, I think maybe like 100 times during that episode, man, in so many different ways. I'm sorry in front of the beach. I'm sorry in front of the fireplace, butt naked with, animal fur covering my Johnson. So many different examples. And I wish South Park would come out right now. I don't know where they're at. I know they're coming back pretty soon, but we definitely need them right now, man, because this stuff, you can't make it up. So NFL, obviously, with COVID-19, they're not playing, NBA's not playing, NHL, all sports are gone pretty much for right now. They're supposed to be returning July 31st for the NFL. I'm not sure about the NBA. I'm not sure about the NFL. So the NBA is returning the 31st of July. NFL, I'm not really sure. But you know that they're losing money hand over foot. Merchandise sales are down. Black people are not spending. And whenever black people do not spend on these majority-owned white businesses that are majority played by African Americans, they lose a lot of money, man. They lose a ton of money. We play on their fields. We are the dominant athletes in the entire globe. They pay them very, very little. And what I mean by that is, yes, they're making millions upon millions of dollars, but the average time frame that they play in, once they're finished, they're walking around like Muhammad Ali. Brain injury, traumatic brain injury. Concussion after concussion. And we saw what Will Smith did inside that movie, and he exposed that, and that was really great. We see what happens to these players. We see the things that they go through on the plantation in order to provide for their family. And now Roger's finally getting it. He finally understands. Did it take the murder of George Floyd for this white man with such power to finally understand that these players protesting Black Lives Mattering is a actual thing? It's not something that they just fucking decided to, take off their fucking cleats and just say, oh, you know what? Today I'm going to join this movement because I don't feel like playing anymore, or some other excuse that you have inside of your mind. It's actually real, man. They're dying out here. They're being killed out here. And I go back to it again. When you see majority of the black people that are being killed in America, they are dark-skinned African-American males. The closest resemblance of slaves. What I mean by that is that back in the day, and this is historically known, you have the slaves that were in the cotton fields, And then you have the house Negro. Usually the house Negro is light-skinned in nature, okay? He's one that is less feared by the slave master's family, and therefore he can be around, or she can be around the family. They can walk out in public. I'm telling you, man, the list goes on and on. So this is where that systemic racism comes from. This is where Black lives, when you really start to look at it, you see that, damn, this is something really deeper than that, man. It's so much deeper. It goes back to the slavery here in America that happened. And yeah, it happened so long ago, but dude, just like the Holocaust, just like 9/11, just like going to Iraq and coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan, Vietnam, you are going to have post-traumatic stress disorder. In our case, in African Americans' cases, it's a post-traumatic slave disorder. And that means that, and even, white people have it too, because you can't say that they don't. They do have it. It just so happens that they're in a better position, everything wise, because they don't have the color of the skin that we do. And it's so important, man, to start really understanding that this is a serious topic, man. And now listen, if Roger Goodell, if you're absolutely serious, and I know you're not listening to this, but let's say that just the chance that you have to listen to this. If you're serious about this matter, step down. If you really think that the NFL made the mistake, step down. Give up your job. Give up your job. Let Colin Kaepernick come back and play, or create a brand new NFL team that Colin Kaepernick can play in, or that he can actually be the lead head coach and owner. Something like that, man. Bring something, do something that this man that he can have a legacy with, man. Every person that knows what Colin Kaepernick and his movement is about, we want to see him play again. We want to see him continue to do great things, obviously, you know what I'm saying? But we, majority of the time, want to see him fulfill his destiny, man. Such a talented young man in all aspects, on the field, off the field, and he can't get an opportunity to play. Come on, man. Even if you just let him come back on the 49ers and be with that whole team that almost won, that's a good thing. Just to have him on their team, dude. You know how much morale that gives, man, for black players, man. Come on, man. But I am happy to see that with this whole situation with George Floyd. And just like his daughter said, my daddy changed the world. He absolutely did. No matter of his past, and I'm going to talk about this in another video, because there's this black chick who got on here and on her social media feed. I don't even know her name, but I saw it. It was shared on Facebook. Got on here and had the audacity to say that just because George Floyd had a bad background, a couple of charges, rough upbringing, that he deserved to die. It just doesn't make any sense, man. But I'm happy with the NFL. I am. I'm actually happy. I don't watch the NFL. I haven't watched it since Colin Kaepernick got off of the The only thing that I do watch is, obviously the stats on Google for 49ers, because I am a 49ers fan. I've always been a 49ers fan. But I don't follow it like I used to. I used to watch every game. I used to sign up on, Amazon Prime has the games for free. So I used to always sign up for notifications and, go and buy stuff from the store and collect stuff for 49ers. I have literally two items, one jersey, and then I have a hat with 49ers on it. That's the only thing I have. My Jerry Rice jersey, my 49ers hat. That's the only thing that I have in my possession, man. Everything else I gave away, I donated once they started treating Colin pretty bad. This doesn't change anything. The only thing that this does for the NFL is that they're starting to realize that numbers are down, Black lives matter, Black dollars matter, and that, we as a community, we're starting to really take our money elsewhere. If you're not going to support us, if you're not going to, care about us enough to just literally take a moment out of your day and use your platform, just like Nickelodeon did, just like Fox did, just like Warner Brothers did. There's so many others and just like Ben and Jerry's, which I applaud because they went above and beyond. All the other studios, they just put the black, little picture up and blacked out their profiles, put up like one statement. Ben and Jerry's made a thing out of it, man. Their whole entire website was redesigned. You know, they're in it, dude. So if I can't eat it because I'm a diabetic, you know what I'm saying. But if you want to eat ice cream and you want to support someone, support Ben and Jerry's because they did it. And maybe the NFL can learn from that. Who knows, man. But I am happy to see that it is changing, man. His daughter was right, man. Her dad literally changed the world with this, man. This was on the same level, same scale as Rodney King, man. When we saw the Rodney King beating, everybody got crazy and we rioted and stuff, and a little bit of change happened, and then after that we kind of, got laxed and stuff, and then a whole bunch of other people died and we didn't really care as much because of whatever reasoning. And then all of a sudden when that happened, when you see a man die on film, that's where the PTSD comes in at. And then you don't know how to process it. And so anger, frustration, all sorts of stuff. And then you have unemployment through the roof. So it creates a very nasty ticking time bomb. And it just so happens that it exploded. That all that built up pressure exploded when it came to the death of George Floyd. So with Roger Goodell, man, I say this again, man, give up your position, quit your job, and get Colin Kaepernick back in the place to be, man, if that's what you really believe. Or donate a substantial amount of money to his movement, okay? And I'm not talking about, the NFL makes billions. It better be a very large $1 billion check. That's what has to happen. If you're gonna donate anything, I don't want to see no, I don't want to see no millions. I want to see billions, man. I want to see billions. That's what I want to see. And maybe you could do something to where if you want to stay in your position, donate your checks. Donate your checks, man. Since you messed this dude's life up, donate as much money as Colin Kaepernick would have made. Donate that plus all your checks for a year or something like that. Something ridiculous. For 5 years. However long Colin Kaepernick's been gone, that's what I need to see from you. That's the only way this gets better. That's the only way I'm believing you. Because other than that, it's just meaningless words, man, and just, uttering of just bullshit coming out of your mouth. So that's it, guys. I wanted to get that out, man. We're out of here. Leave your comments below. And the NFL, if you guys are changing, man, it's good. What you need to do is, get rid of some of those, absolutely racist coaches, and you know who they are. There's a freaking list of them. Don't ignore it. Fire them immediately. Enough is enough, man. Anyone that talks to African American players and doesn't get in line as far as with justice, get rid of them, man. That's it, guys. We're out of here.